If you're starting a new world and unsure which iron farm to build, you might create an unnecessary one. Today, I'll help you avoid that. I've researched and will show you 3 farms to help you choose the right one. You don't need to be an expert to build them, just pay attention. I've decided to separate them based on several characteristics, such as difficulty, game progression, materials, efficiency, and expandability. That way, you can come to a conclusion about which one will be most useful for you. We're going to start with the simplest one, but first let me explain how iron farms actually work. And the mechanic is very simple. In fact, many of you probably already know it. When there are at least 3 villagers in a small area with 3 workstations and 3 beds, let's say they form a village. When the villagers feel threatened, for example, by seeing a zombie, they generate an iron golem to protect them. We take advantage of this mechanic and force the villagers to constantly see an enemy, so they keep generating golems. Meanwhile, we use water currents to move the golems to a killing area, so the villagers can keep generating golems endlessly. Now that we know the basics, it's time to explain the easiest one of all. It's as simple as placing 3 villagers at ground level, enclosed with beds and workstations. Place them near a zombie, close enough to detect it, but out of reach to avoid being killed. We'll make the golems spawn where they burn immediately. Thanks to the path blocks around the farm, which is important, if you don't make them path blocks, the golems will spawn right there. The farm itself is very convenient, and that's why I chose it. In the end, you don't have to build underground, you don't have to do anything in the sky or anything like that. Just building it above your world is enough. You can build it anywhere, in any corner, in fact on my subscriber server. I've seen this farm the most over time, and for a casual player, it's more than enough. Knowing the concept, you can easily create your own version of this farm without building it block by block. I'll leave the download link in the description as usual. This farm, because of how easy it is and the materials it needs, can be built by anyone at the beginning of the game without any problem, but it does have its limitations. These farms are usually built at the beginning of the game, just to get by, but once you progress, it won't be enough. It usually produces about 300-400 ingots per hour, which is enough for a single player. If you're ambitious or playing on a server with friends, you may need more. With that, you might say, well, I'll just expand it and that's it. But it's not that simple. This farm, specifically, is more complicated to expand. If I'm right, every module you build must be 20 blocks apart, so expanding isn't really worth it. It's easier to spend a little more time farming materials like pistons, repeaters, or slime to build this farm you're seeing now. Yes, it's the same one I use in my survival. It's Aurigas' iron farm, a national product. It's a pretty simple iron farm to make considering how big it looks, and the improvement in quality is insane. For those of you who need more iron, this farm is perfect for you. The single module farm consists of 7 different villager submodules. And by submodule, I mean where there are 3 and 3 beds. A redstone clock makes a pillager in the center visible right when golems are meant to spawn for the villagers. Although they can't spawn golems due to a cooldown, the pillager will be hidden, allowing villagers to rest and reset their golem spawn timer. Maybe the hardest part of this farm is bringing the pillager instead of the zombie, because they get scared at 15 blocks away instead of 7. So, Aurigas has used this mechanic to make a much bigger module. You just have to find an outpost or bring him over somehow. If you get into a boat with him, the arrows won't hit you, so I'll give you that little trick I learned when I did it. This farm is one of the best options for me because it's compact and highly productive. A single module produces about 2,800 iron per hour, 7 times more than the previous farm, without needing to build 7 of them. There's a small difference though. It's true you need some redstone and other materials, but the great thing about this farm is that it's designed for expansion. Just so you get a survival idea, I put it inside a giant Rubik's Cube. This farm was ideal for me because I could build 2 modules together and expand both sideways and vertically. Let me explain. Aurigas created this farm for his world, where he needed absurd amounts of iron for the rest of his projects. He designed it in such a way that this single module could be replicated 4 times vertically and at least 3 times horizontally, although you can do more. But anyway, an area of 3x-3-x4, which gives a total of 36 modules. You don't have to be a genius. Using a basic calculator, you multiply the modules by the iron from 1 and get 100,000 iron per hour. That's crazy. Just so you get an idea, in 1 hour you'll have a double chest full of shulkers and full of iron, and actually a little more. I chose this farm because you don't need to build all 36 modules, nor do I recommend it. Still, it's helpful to know this farm is expandable. This way, if you need more iron, you can just replicate what you've built next to the previous one to stay organized and keep producing. As I said, for example, I've used 1 module and that's enough for me, but if you need more, you can build 2 or 4, which is the original design. I say module a lot, but I actually mean levels. I used 1 level of a module, but each module has 4 levels. You can build a whole module. You can build all 9. I'm telling you, 1 level is more than enough. But what I really want to highlight about this farm is that it doesn't use nether portals. In case you didn't know, many of the biggest farms in the game use portals since they make the golems disappear faster. That way, villagers can generate more in less time. The problem with these is that they generate lag. You have to use 2 dimensions, which is a lot, so I appreciate that. Getting so many drops without the nether is impressive. This farm seems like every player's dream, but I have to tell you that not everything that glitters is good gold or iron. In this case, Aurigas designed the farm to have maximum optimization. In fact, up until then, all iron farms use this same mechanic. Aurigas himself said while making this farm that he seemed tired from having to build so many modules. Keep in mind that the farm requires 3 villagers per submodule, 21 for a whole module, and 756 in total. Moving all those villagers is a pain and becomes a very tedious and repetitive task. That's why I recently found the solution to most of the problems. From the previous farms designed by MD, I present to you the new generation of iron farms, the Waifu. Of course, Waifu stands for Waterless Upright Industrial Flinging Unit. Don't look at me like that, okay? I didn't name it. This farm takes advantage of a mechanic that has barely been used, which is the villager refresh time. Until now, all the farms we've seen kept the villagers still, but this farm moves them, the villager modules, thanks to a redstone clock. Once they generate a golem, they'll go down a small drop so the module next to them can generate another golem. Meanwhile, the module that dropped will be able to generate another golem underneath, thanks to being scared by another mob and losing the previous golem's reference. Just with this, you're already doubling the production with a single villager submodule. That is, with only 3 villagers, but can it be expanded further? The best thing about this farm is how compact it is, since the villager submodules are placed right next to each other. This allows you to have up to 24 submodules in a single, small space. We're not only doubling production, but also tripling it per module. Also, this farm is meant for later in the game, not the start. You already have materials like redstone, dispensers, and observers, and don't mind using them. Although it may look complex, the redstone circuit isn't difficult. Just replicate it. The best part is, even if you unload the farm's chunks, it won't break. So there's nothing to worry about. The creator MD gives us several options to choose from, both with portals and without them. The mini consists of 12 modules that produce around 4,900 iron per hour, which, if you notice and compare it to the previous one, is almost double what you get with just 1 module, with the difference that you build it in the same or even less space. And if we decide to go for the Maxi, which is the one with 24 modules, this one already produces about 11,400 iron per hour. We're discussing unprecedentedly large production numbers for such a small area. Doubling the modules yields more than double the output, making it even more profitable. Is it worth building the big one before the small one? This isn't over. Don't worry. Like the Aurigas farm, it can be expanded in the same way. If you keep the necessary separation between modules and place them in a 1x3x3 area, we'll get 9 times more iron. That is 100 or 2,000 iron per hour. Even with only 1 level, it matches the Aurigas farm. No need to build 4 levels. It's so scalable, words can't describe it. If you want to get rich with iron, this is the way. I want this format of recommending farms to continue, but I need you to let me know with likes or in the comments. What do you think about continuing the series with different farms? Suggest which farm to feature next in the comments. Thanks for watching, See you next time. Goodbye.